Next up from WinWing, we have two new additions for your home Airbus cockpit. This is the ECAM button panel and the landing gear panel, but there's one extremely important detail that you need to know and you need to figure out before you can consider buying them. So let's take a closer look, starting with the ECAM button here. It's a pretty simple product. It's basically a button box, but it's obviously, has a nice Airbus coloring. It's all completely plastic made. The buttons are pretty nice though, even though they are, plastic. But as you click on them, they do light up. Engine, bleed, pressurization, electrical, hydraulic pump, fuel, and so on. So it's pretty simple. I mean, you also even have these extra buttons here, which are these blue rectangles where you can map something else. Like for example, say you want to fly the A350 or the A380. Those aircraft have a few additional buttons. You may want to map those if you want. So you can do that. You also have the covered emergency cancel right here, which is nice. And as you can see again, each button lights up right there in the to show you that it's actually active on the ECAM display, and it is perfectly in sync with the Airbus. Right now I'm in the Phoenix, but it should work with any of the other typical Airbus in Microsoft Flight Sim or X-Plane. So that's, again, pretty simple. So here is the Airbus gear panel from WinWing. It doesn't come all together. It does come disassembled. So this section up here at the top comes as one piece, and then the gear panel on the bottom comes as one piece. Matter of fact, this is like a back plate here, and then this gear slots in. And then in the back, you can see we're using just one single USB cord, and then you have a little wire going from the gear up to the actual display here, which is nice. So it's only one USB for this whole thing and another additional USB for this. Now again, these come separately. If I didn't say that before, this is sold separately by itself, and then this set is sold by itself together as well. So what you expect from this panel is just like the real thing in real life. So up top, we have our landing gear indicators up here at the top in green. I'm actually gonna turn the annunciator on real quick so you can actually see everything light up, which looks sick, man. Just check that out. So go annunciator to test mode here. There we go, and check it out. Now you see all the lights are now on. So we got our unlock up here. We have our gear down indicating. We have on our auto brake, we have our ons in blue, as well as the decel in green, and the blue is boxed in. We have all of our chrono and clock information down here. Have our, look at this, you have a light, can you see that? There's even a light right, I didn't notice that before. There's a light right there on gear down. That's pretty sweet. And then back to the ECAM real quick. You can see with the annunciator test on, you can see all the lights are lit up. Pretty nice. It's also controlled by the integral lighting switch in the Airbus as well. So I'm gonna turn off the annunciator test there. And again, so we'll continue moving on. We have our anti-skid switch right here, which is a completely metal switch, which you have to actually pull up and over to actually get it to move. You cannot just move it up and down. You got to pull it out and up. It's a pretty cool mechanical switch. We have our actual working clock here, if you can see that. And we have our Chronos, our UTC, our ET. If you click on Chrono, that turns on and it starts clicking. Now again, this is completely in sync. It's just showing you what's in the aircraft. It's literally just the data from the aircraft is being shown right on here. If I click on the date, you can see the date change as well. So again, everything is functioning just how you expect it to. If you want to reset your chrono or pause it, you can click on chrono there, it pauses it, hit reset, and now it's reset it, or it's actually off. And there we go. We could also hit terrain radar on, terrain radar off, our brake fan up here on, brake fan off. And then one of the coolest parts of this is actually the gear handle. So I can actually pull it. I can't just push it up and down, so I can't accidentally put the gear up or put the gear down. I have to pull it out. There's a nice pull out mechanism and snaps up into place. Same thing going down, pull up and down. It's a nice click to it. Metal construction, pull it down just like that, and that feels great. Now, this thing is really cool, one of my favorite pieces, but one thing that I have to make sure I mention is, again, it comes in two different pieces, and it comes with these two little aluminum or metal pipes, or it's not really a pipe, it's like a metal beam thing with slots in it, and you can actually screw. So it gives you this piece It also does give you the screws needed to screw into that. So you can see there's a lot of different screws in the back. Not a lot. It's like 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's 4 screws they do provide you that go into this. And then I have it mounted in a vertical way. Now you could also mount the gear handle in a horizontal way. I'll show you those pictures on the screen. There's a few different ways you can actually organize this, which is nice. I like that. You can actually put the gear handle on the left or on the right. They have some screws that allow you to do that. You could, if you have a custom cockpit, you can literally completely disassemble this and put the gear wherever you want. Again, it's completely up to you how you want to do that. It's pretty flexible in that way. I'm actually going to be using, I want to mount this on my desk. That's what I'm going to do, because there's no other way for me to do this, but I'm going to need an additional product, and that product is this one here. So this is the desk mount that comes from WinWing's website. These 2 big block panels on the side actually come in the box with the gear panel. It's the same ones that you have on the autopilot panel and some of the other products from WinWing, but this centerpiece, basically a desk clamp. So I'm gonna clamp this on my desk, right, like that. So what I can do is I can take this gear panel and I can take this desk clamp. I can actually screw these together. The screws do match, universal, so I can screw these together, and then I'm gonna put this onto my desk, and it's basically gonna kind of sit right in front of me. Again, not the most realistic, but I can kind of put it in a area that feels legit. But I gotta do what I gotta do, right, to fit my setup. I'm rocking a Next Level Racing flight simulator chair, but to be honest, if you have a flight simulator chair with all the stuff coming out with WinWing, it's not really compatible with the WinWing products. Like, you need something completely manual or custom made to kind of get all this WinWing stuff moving forward to mount in a realistic way. And I think a lot of people don't have that. So again, just before you buy, really consider, how are you going to mount this? What is your current setup? Do you have a desktop setup? Do you have room? Do you have space? Are you somebody who likes to build custom builds? Maybe you can build something custom to allow a mounting solution for this. Do you want to just buy a bunch of these desk mounts and then use the desk mount to mount this stuff to a desk? Again, consider that before you buy, because although this is really cool and it works as advertised, I really do love it. The mounting is the biggest issue with honestly all the products. But potentially the best way to mount all these products, especially if you're on a desktop, is the throttle desktop profile bar, paired with the panel mount I showed you before. Both of these are additional cost on the WinWing site, but very necessary on desktops. So how are you gonna mount it? And to be honest, I'm gonna leave that in your hands. Jump in the comments, and what solutions do you have, seriously, of mounting these products to your home setup? Because I think it's going to help me when I read through the comments, but it's also going to help others when they read through the comments, of knowing, hey, like, I'm having a similar issue. I really want this product, but like, what are people doing to get this mounted onto their desktop or their, their flight sim cockpit setup, whatever it is. Definitely share your thoughts on that in the comments, because I would like to see them, and I know it would help other people. So I'll show you this real quickly as I mount this on my desk, but everything is working as expected. All right, lastly, if you're using this desk clamp, it sadly doesn't get that tight. If you have a desk like I do, which my desk is about, I would say 3/4, like a little less than 3/4 of an inch, whatever that is in meters for you guys in Europe, it doesn't close all the way. And so what I do is I got this random block of wood that I got from like a keychain holder, and I put it on my desk underneath it, and then I clamp my clamp to that, and doing that allows me to actually be able to get it nice and tight and firm against the desk. So again, another kind of workaround I have to find. All right, and here is a live example of everything I have from WinWing all set up. So again, we have the landing gear panel right here, which I have mounted with that little block of wood helping as a spacer on the desk mounts. So again, it's not in the perfect position, but I think it's gonna work just fine. Then we have the ECAM, which is just sitting on my desk. It's not mounted at all. Of course, you have the autopilot panel, one of my favorite pieces. Absolutely love that thing. We have our FMS, which is actually just sitting on a keyboard stand. And then back here, ignore the wires, we have our throttle, which I actually built, I didn't bolt it down. I ended up using Velcro, which I'll reveal here. So I have these 2 strips of Velcro here. And then I have Velcro on the bottom, a couple pieces. And that's just how I kind of set it on here. Makes it nice and easy so I can hot swap them very quickly. So again, I gotta make it work. Gotta make it work. So I use a lot of different types of hardware, and I need things to be able to be moved very quickly. And so everything I have on here can be very easily unplugged, take it off the desk. I can put a whole Boeing setup here. I put my helicopter setup here. And of course I'm using the Next Level Racing Microsoft Flight Simulator Edition chair. So, but again, this chair is not perfectly compatible with all this stuff. I'm just making it work. And for those wondering, I'm right now using the Thrustmaster joystick, but WinWing of course has their own joystick if you prefer that. So yeah, there it goes. So let me know in the comments what your mounting solutions are for the WinWing products of current, the ones coming up and the old ones. So this is what I got going on. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys to understand what you're going to get before you buy. Until next time, remember you have 3 choices: give up, give in, and give it all you got. Peace, love, and God bless you. I'll see you guys next time, next video. Bye.